frequency. We rise above, entrepreneurs of spirit and love. Feel the beat sets us free, living dreams eternally.
Welcome to the Spiritual Entrepreneur Frequency Podcast. We are so thrilled to be featuring spiritual leaders and coaches who are blending science and spirituality in powerful, impactful ways. Our guests share their unique methods to help elevate consciousness and guide people into their higher frequencies, whether that's through sound healing, energy work, mindset practices. All of these at the core, everything is energy and everything vibrates at its own frequency, including our thoughts, emotions, and actions. So when we align ourselves with higher vibrations like love, clarity, abundance, we naturally attract those things into our lives. This podcast is going to help our listeners learn how to tune into those higher frequencies through practical and science-backed spiritual tools. It's all about expanding consciousness, elevating your energy, and stepping into alignment with the life that you want to create. Through conversations and techniques like my own 4D visualization, we're helping people feel and embody their future selves, collapsing the time and the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. So I am so excited that you are here and enjoy the Glow Goddess Frequency Podcast. Welcome to the Spiritual Entrepreneur Frequency Podcast, where science meets spirituality. Our hope is to elevate your mind, body, and business. I am your host, Celina Pizarro, 4D Holistic Business Coach, and I am here with Lauren Davies, and together we are tapping into the unique magic of spiritual leaders and coaches who are transforming the way we think about success, life, and business. In each episode, we're going to dive into powerful stories, tools, and techniques to help you align your energy, raise your frequency, and create a thriving, soul-aligned life and business that you deserve. And here is the bonus. You'll be just raising your frequency by listening thanks to our proprietary binaural beats and sound frequencies that are overlaid in every episode. Let's expand your mind, elevate your energy, and connect to a higher level of consciousness together. And Lauren Davies is our mastermind behind these binaural beats. Welcome, Lauren, as my co-host on the Spiritual Entrepreneur Frequency Podcast. Can you share with our listeners a little bit how you got to sound therapy and frequency and all of the magical things that happen kind of behind the scenes of every episode?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Celina, and hello, listeners. It's great to be here. Music has always been a part of me, and I played the clarinet actually in school orchestra to a pretty high level when I was younger. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've been driven to create something meaningful and to work hard to be the best version of myself. I'm very open-minded, always looking for ways to challenge my own perception of reality, both from a spiritual and scientific standpoint. I've always been highly sensitive to energy, whether it's the energy in a room or the energy of people around me. I mean, I walk around most days thinking about objects on an atomic level and just how mind-blowing it is that our perception is only 0.008% of reality. It really makes you think about how much more there is that we can't see. Electromagnetic frequencies, like Wi-Fi, is very much a real thing, along with its proven impact on our well-being. So I do struggle to understand why it's hard to believe that sound, which is also frequencies, are not able to have the same effect. But I believe we've just been conditioned that it's nonsense, and this dumbing down of the idea and lack of research reflects that, there may be more to it than we're led to believe. And it makes sense that people are skeptical, as if it was possible to self-heal the idea around that, surely we'd all know about it. But, not if we understand the history of the healthcare industry and how it's led us to provide short-term solutions in most cases by handing out prescriptions instead of getting to the root cause. And you'll know a lot about that working in the healthcare industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But then, you've got all these conspiracy theories flying around these days about, governments on their arse, and it's really just all very awakening. So like even down to the celebrities, you lose trust in what we're told. And it taught me to do my own research and question always. And my sound therapy and spiritual journey began when I stumbled upon deep sleep hypnosis and frequency healing tracks on YouTube. And I had no idea what sound therapy was at this time, but I found these tracks to be incredibly powerful, especially for sleep and relaxation and focus, to help me focus more easily while I'm working. But yeah, I later went on to find them extremely useful for various other use cases, like helping me to get into a meditative state more easily and helping me with other various spiritual practices. And I remember going to a sound bath. I've been to a few before this point, but I never got so close to the bowl. In this instance, I was like right next to the bowl playing. And that feeling that you get when you hear your favorite song and it takes you back to a point in time that you're just like so in love with and you just want to stay there forever. Then you get shivers down your spine. That was the feeling that I got with the sound bowl, and I could literally, it felt as if like my body was just going through this like transformational healing process, and I just didn't want to come out of that state. And I knew from that point that sound healing and that sound therapy was just the route I wanted to go down, and just the extent of how powerful that can be. And one other point I want to make is, I don't know if you've heard about Masaru Emoto. And he claimed that human consciousness could affect the molecular structure of water. And he did a few experiments whereby he would freeze water in patisserie dishes. But before that, he would put words written on each of the dishes with set intentions. So some were labeled with positive messages and some were labeled with hatred, really negative words. And you could really see the distinction between the crystallization of the water. The positive words were absolutely stunning, like a snowflake. Everything was symmetrical, these sort of geometrical, beautiful patterns. And then the hatred one was all broken, distorted. And I think that was just the turning point for me. I just thought, my God, how impactful words can be. They carry their energy clearly. This was proof enough for me to then go down the rabbit hole and learn as much as I could, listen to experts in the field, podcasts, read books. And my partner was a professional house music producer. He has over 15 years experience, and he's had many recording studios and owned his own record labels in the past. So it all seemed natural. When I found this interest in sound therapy, I just wanted to learn how it was constructed. I wanted to be able to have the control over what it was that I was listening to play around with it, be my own experiment. And he is amazing. Like, I couldn't have, a better partner to help co-create these tracks. And so, yeah, my knowledge grew with him. He had all the software, all the resources. So with a bit of self-teaching, but obviously I can't take all the credit. I was able to really immerse myself in it all. And yeah, we started creating tracks on YouTube. And the response was really overwhelming. The comments from listeners was incredible. And I even had professional artists reaching out for collaborations, and it felt like I was really onto something bigger than I'd imagined. My professional background is in affiliate marketing. I'd say once I had my little girl, my whole frame of mind changed, like the direction that I wanted to go down with my life. And she brought a new me.
Children will do that to you. They change everything.
Yeah, honestly, they do, don't they? And to be honest, I think I was just trying to find any way as well not to go back into corporate world and really build something that meant something to me. And I just saw this as it, and it came in at the right time. And yeah, I was really able to just find my love, my passion, and it's still evolving. I don't know where it's going to end up, to be honest. I'm just loving the journey of meeting amazing wellness professionals like yourself, co-producing. We've done a few tracks together, visualizations, and it's great to hear that they've been so useful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that, well, coming back to the studies around water and the yogic sciences, that that intention behind water and just the acknowledgement, like holding it in a vessel and putting an intention before you consume the water, they've known that that's changed the molecular structure of the water for tens of, like 10,000 years. The yogic sciences go back, so I'm not surprised that there's been actual studies around that.
And once you go down that, there's no going back, is there? Like, I can't drink water or look at water in the same way again. Yes. Mind blown.
And we met, kind of by chance online, and when you told me your story, and what I do in helping, women, particularly women in the online business space that are in a soul-led business, with raising their personal frequencies as well as the frequency of their business to match where it is that they want to go. I knew that adding proprietary tracks to my work at the certain frequencies we were working in was going to be a game changer for them. So it was like, a no-brainer to do a collaboration with you. And that's kind of where the podcast was developed, really, right? I mean, we were chatting about it. We were like, wouldn't it be great to hear from all kinds of, spiritual and soul-led business owners and how they're using these different tools that combine science and spirituality to help raise global consciousness and awareness.
Absolutely. And I feel like I've met so many amazing coaches and therapists and people that have helped me on my journey at exactly the right time, and I would never have known that we would be here right now doing this podcast, and it feels like I've known you for ages. But it's such a beautiful journey, and I think it was just, taking the risk and going for it, and then just being an opportunist. We're both very aligned in our vision, and I think it's amazing that we're able to increase our ability to share these sounds, these frequencies, and help raise global consciousness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with each of the interview episodes that we do, we'll bring in different entrepreneurs and spiritual leaders, healers, therapists. I've already interviewed so many wonderful people and individuals that all have their own special kind of magic, their own spin on things, where they're combining science and spirituality. And with each episode having a unique, specific frequency, a lot of times that is very intentionally set because of the content of the episode. Tell us a little bit about why the listeners are going to get healing, get that experience just from listening. And we always preface that you should listen to them with headphones, because that will help you get the benefits from the frequencies and the soundscape. So tell us a little bit about why that is.
Yeah, sure. The reason being is because binaural beats work by having a separate tone in each ear. So, for example, if you have 100 hertz in one ear and then 110 hertz in the other ear, there's a difference between the hertz range of 10 hertz. So you have to kind of have that left-right difference, because the brain will interpret that as a third beat, a subliminal beat, which is known as the binaural beat. And that is the tone that helps to induce your brain into an altered state of consciousness. So there are, you've got delta waves, which range between 0.5 and 4 hertz. And these are generally for deep relaxation and restorative sleep. You've got theta, sort of going up through the frequency ranges, is 4 hertz to 8 hertz. And this is generally used for creativity, meditation, and stress reduction. You have alpha waves, which are between 8 and 14 hertz, predominantly for calm focus and mental clarity. And beta waves, which is 14 to 30 hertz, and this is for alertness and problem solving, and they can also help with anxiety regulation when balanced. There are gamma waves, and these are not technically binaural beats, but they are 30 hertz and above. So yeah, because the binaurals have to be within that range. But with regards to the frequencies, we use EEGs to measure electrical brain activity. So when you are in a sleepy state, we know that those brain waves are predominantly within the delta wave range. So that way we're able to, select specific frequencies for a particular outcome that you may wish to have. So for instance, if you want to get yourself into a sleepier state, we'd recommend those lower brain waves, because that's where you are at, and then your brain will synchronize with those, and it sort of matches that, and it helps to get you into that sleepier state quicker, for example. And it's like a workout for the brain. I find them extremely useful. You don't even have to listen to just the pure tones. That's what we do, is we embed them over the top of soundscapes, or we can do house tracks. But what we are going to be doing with each episode is overlaying them on top of the episode, and the particular frequencies that we'll use in terms of the binaural beat will be in the alpha range mainly, and this is for calm focus and mental clarity, with the purpose of opening your brain up to the conversations and topics that we're having, to help spark curiosity and provoke thoughts, and and any experiences that you do have from that. We would love to hear perhaps how they've helped you, and the experiences that you have from listening to the episodes. Feeling stuck, but you know you're meant for more? Let me just grab you for 30 seconds. Trust me, it will be worth it. Tap into your power with our free activation visualization. A guided journey designed to shift your consciousness, unlock your potential, and elevate your frequency. Led by your co-host Celina Pizarro, award-winning spiritual 4D quantum business coach, combined with sound therapy music produced with love by myself, Lauren, your co-host, and my partner Marcel, creators of Best Binaurals, with over 25 years of combined music and sound healing expertise. This isn't just meditation, it's a portal to real change. And because we know you've got big things to create, we're giving you free lifetime streaming access to our productivity and focus track, my personal go-to when I need to zone out and get seriously productive. Head to www.spiritualentrepreneur.frequency.com. Fill out the quick form and we'll send you an email to stream both instantly for free. Now it's time for you to continue the why behind the woo-woo. You're just one frequency shift away from your next breakthrough.
And this is what you're calling brain entrainment, right? Did I say that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's what the term is for the synchronization element.
And will we be adding, so when I speak with entrepreneurs, everything has a frequency. We are all emitting, we all have actually like a resonant frequency in our body. Like if you listen to our bodies, our internal bodies, it's crazy that we only hear externally, but there's so much noise going on inside of our bodies, even down to the cellular level. We now know that there is, resonant frequency happening even in like dark matter of space, which they thought before was empty, but there's actually a resonant frequency happening, which means there's sound, right? So if you listen even on the cellular level, there's a certain resonant frequency. So we discuss how your emotions, how feelings, how, I mean, just everything has a resonant frequency about it. So raising our personal frequency, which is something that's more of a, instead of people talk about vibration, where that's in the moment, where frequency is more, I like to say it like a collection, like it's more long term. And to raise that using these soundscapes and like say like, talking about like, is it 432, like that frequency, where that's what's the, tell me, remind me the name of it.
Yeah, so you've got the solfeggio frequencies as well, and that's it. So
Right. So we talked about overlaying those with the episodes because as you get into the higher states of like um joy and love and those higher frequencies, that it goes up, so you'll be using the brain waves along with those frequencies as well.
yeah, that's right. So it'll be both. So we'll be using that alpha brainwave state in
And that
conjunction.
opens you up to the other frequency.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, it'll be basically in alignment with the attention of the person who we're interviewing.
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited.
I am super excited for that. And it's been a really, like everyone who I've interviewed, they find this so amazing and are so excited about it. Nobody else is doing this. And for the solo episodes, it'll be the same thing. We will put into the description of each episode what the frequencies are, what the intention is behind it, so that you'll have that, that information. Lauren will add all the sciencey part behind that. But this is why we think that the um, the spiritual entrepreneur frequency podcast is going to be so unique in that regard. So we're super excited about that. And Lauren and I have co-produced soundtracks. We have co-produced visualizations, and we are going to have some of those available for free streaming so that if you say, need help getting on a path to help your business and your life get to where you want it to be. You're looking for a path to success. Well, we have a success path visualization that has those frequencies, that intention set behind it, and it will help you be open to experiencing that visualization so that you can create your path to success and see that success path in super distinct clarity. Because a lot of times in a visualization, people listen, but they have a hard time actually futurescaping themselves and seeing, actually visualizing it, where the soundscapes and the frequencies help open, like we were talking about, explaining how that works, open you up to being open to it, right? So many words. So that's just a couple of the cool things that we are doing here on the podcast.
Yeah. And yeah, before I sort of go into your journey, I just wanted to say a little bit about our streaming platform. We co-created a streaming platform called bestbinaurals.com. And Best Binaurals is a company that we've developed to help wellness professionals looking to incorporate sound therapy into their businesses in a similar way that I've done for Celina. And we offer consultations on how that might look for you, taking your business model into consideration. And we provide educational resources for our clients, as well as offering flexibility with our services, including flexible licensing options, including both shared and exclusivity rights, custom tracks, customization of tracks, things like that. So yes, we have an affiliate program as well, allowing you to earn from referrals. And we love to partner with other professionals as a way of helping to elevate one another's businesses through exposure and collaboration, as our mission really is to educate and share the impact of sound therapy with as many people as possible. So I would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. This has already been an amazing journey, and I can't wait to see where it leads us.
Me too. Me too. Okay, so I'll just lead into your journey then, Celina. So just to introduce yourself, you've provided me with your bio. So Celina is a transformative force in holistic health field, blending 2 decades of behavioral healthcare expertise and pro bodybuilding with a Doctor of Philosophy, LHD, BS, and multiple coaching, nutrition, and fitness certificates. Beyond building a successful coaching business, she spearheads the Elite Transformation Academy, transforming online business owners' mindset and path to success. Celina's mission is a passionate journey, transforming lives through holistic online business coaching. 5 years as a network marketing professional, earning top 15 worldwide recruiter with over 1.35 million in team sales.
It's actually 1.6 now.
Oh, wow. You need to update this then. Speaking topics. Okay, Celina, so can you share one pivotal moment in your journey that reshaped how you view spirituality and wellness?
Well, I would have to say that it probably started with a near-death experience. And that was while I was in corporate healthcare. I was in corporate healthcare for nearly 20 years, mostly in behavioral health. And I happened to be in one of those facilities speaking with the nurse in the nurse's station. And unbeknownst to me at the time, I had an anaphylactic reaction to some dried fruit, which means my throat closed up and I started to have a panic attack. And I guess I passed out because I woke up on the floor after the nurse that I was speaking to grabbed the patient's EpiPen and shot it into my leg. So it wasn't necessarily the spiritual awakening, but it was an awakening up into the fact that I needed to do something if I wanted to see my daughter graduate high school. And at the time she was about 6 years old. So spoiler alert, she's a freshman in college at UGA. So I did get to see her graduate high school because I took the measures to find out what was going on in my body. So of course, working in corporate healthcare, I was, I had doctors available to me. They were peers of mine, nutritionists available to me that I was very dear friends with. And I asked for help. And what I got were prescriptions. And this is not what I wanted at 37 years old to fix what I thought was something innately wrong with me. But come to find out, it was stress. It was constant stress. And my body was reacting in a way that basically made my gut very permeable. And I had a leaky gut, which created that adult onset allergic reaction to the food that I was eating that caused the anaphylactic shock. So to me, taking prescription was not enough. So I went down a holistic health rabbit hole and learned about how the gut works, what foods are, best to heal the gut, how the gut and the brain are in a bilateral relationship. A lot of people say that the gut is the second brain. I kind of have to push back on that a little bit because I really think that the gut is the first brain. The gut sends through your vagus nerve bidirectional information to it. And a lot of times you'll feel a gut reaction before your brain reacts. So this is why I say it's the first brain, because a lot of times all of those bacteria and different forms of non-genome cells that are in our body largely is bacteria, but there's parasites and other things as well. They are reacting to our environment. Again, this is where frequency comes into play as well. They're now using frequency to help heal things like cancer. And, that's on a cellular level. But not getting off of track here, I found, in going down this rabbit hole, found all of this out and healed myself. And in doing so, led me into professional bodybuilding, which is a story for another day. However, I transformed my body in such a profound way that people naturally started to ask me what I was doing. The doctors I was working with, the nutritionists that I was friends with, they were like, what are you eating out of that Tupperware that's doing this to your body and changing it so profoundly? Of course, that wasn't the only thing I was doing, but it led me to the world of holistic health and nutrition coaching, which I walked away from corporate healthcare to do. I I made a conscious decision that this was not the path for me anymore. I'm going to follow my passion, and brought my business online and was wildly successful with that, to the point where I found myself stressed out and overworked again. And I didn't want to go down the same path. So I leaned into my yoga practice, and I had been taking yoga for years. However, I leaned heavily into it so much that I went on to get my 200-hour yoga certification. And that got me more on the path to my spiritual transformation. Now, I grew up Roman Catholic. So organized religion, it was what I was born into, so to speak. However, I'd since kind of fallen out of, the Sunday mass kind of schedule at that point, and was open to learning more. I also often feel energies. I'm an empath. I'll feel the emotions of others. I'm a non-emotional sacral generator in human design. So I will feel the emotions of other and amplify that. And I always knew this to be true, especially being around in the healthcare industry when people were sick. That was when I felt even, was the only time really that I ever got sick, because of that empathetic type of energy that I have to me. So I always kind of innately knew it to be true, but I leaned into it a lot more when I went through my yoga certification. And I started to apply those practices that I curated and learned in yoga to my business, which helped me like 1,000 times more than any type of prescription or anything else that I could do. And specifically Kundalini yoga, which uses sound and uses movement together with breath to perform, just crazy transformation. It was for me, at least. And I have seen this now in my clients as well, even applying small principles of that. And again, it goes back to sound and breath therapy and the frequency behind it, right? So that really was what kept me on this path. And I've always been someone who analyzes and wants to know the science and the reason behind things. So when I started to lean into it, I went deep, I went down the rabbit hole. I went and did the deep dive as well. And I'd always listened to binaural beats and was always, I've always been very, I'm not personally musically inclined, but I enjoy listening and, have always had music on and around me. But only those sounds and frequencies that make me feel good because of the empathetic nature that I am, right? So I shy away from certain kinds of, I don't know, music that's more of my husband will listen to more just don't like Grateful Dead kind of guy. So that's really how I kind of got here and combined the spirituality of yoga and Kundalini yoga specifically with being an online spiritual soul-led business owner. And that's what I do with my clients as well, because really it's, to me, it's all one and the same. And that is what yoga teaches us is, yoga means union, and to be at one with, each other, with all of the universe, with, the earth, all the elements, earth, wind, fire, water, that we are all one, and that universal energy and frequency is within every cell of our body is what makes up the universe as well. So
It's everything, right?
it's everything.
Yeah. And yeah, one day you have to do an episode which is specifically talking about your bodybuilding story, because I love that. I'm sure the listeners will love that too. It's really fascinating.
Yes, I use my spoiler alert, I use my visualization techniques to go from last to first in about 6 weeks. So,
Yeah, it's amazing.
yes.
Oh, great, Celina. Well, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of the Spiritual Entrepreneur Frequency Podcast. We are beyond excited to have you on this journey with us. We've got some incredible guests lined up, experts in science-led and spiritually rooted wellness practices, and we can't wait for you to experience the breakthroughs they'll be sharing. Each episode is embedded with binaural beat sound therapy, designed to support your transformation from the inside out. Want to know more about the frequencies we use and how they work? Check out the show notes for all the details. Don't forget to claim your free powerful guided tool, Success Path Visualization Activation, led by your co-host Celina Pizarro and accompanied by Best Binaural Sound Therapy. Plus, we're gifting you our productivity and focus track, perfect for getting in the zone. So head to www.spiritualentrepreneurfrequency.com and fill out the quick form to start aligning with your full potential today. Give it a try and let us know how it works for you. We'd love to hear your experience. Reach out to us anytime at contact@spiritualentrepreneurfrequency.com. And remember, new episodes drop every Wednesday, where we'll deep dive into the practices, stories, and discoveries of each amazing professional. If this episode resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really supports our mission and helps this energetic exchange reach more beautiful, like-minded souls like you. We can't wait to see you on the next episode.